Hello everyone, welcome back to another Elden Ring DLC tutorial. Today I'm gonna walk you through Ymir's and Jolan's complete questline. This is a questline that will take you to the Mother of Fingers boss fight. So before we jump into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So the very first step that you have to take is to come here into the map, the central area that will become available to you after you have defeated Rilana. So you actually want to go to the Moorth Ruins side of Grace, and from there we're gonna go this way to the Bonnie village, and from here we're gonna go up and then come down again to this next side of Grace across a couple bridges, and then keep going up around to reach the Cathedral, where we're gonna talk to Ymir and Jolan. So let's get ahead and travel to the Moorth Ruins side of Grace, and I'm going to show you exactly the path that you have to follow. So once you're at the side of Grace, all you want to do is jump on your horse and then follow this way underneath this arch and go immediately towards the left. There's going to be a hole on the ground behind these couple buildings, and we want to keep dropping down. There's going to be a cave. Keep going through this path because that's how you're going to get to that area on the other side of the map. From here there's another cave with a ladder at the end. You want to climb this ladder that will take you to the Bonnie village, and right outside this area there's going to be a side of Grace for you to save your game. Be careful that this cave has a lot of enemies, so I actually died once trying to get here, but right after you make it through there's a side of Grace. After you have saved it, jump on your horse and come this way, because the next step is to actually get an important item for later in the mission. So if you end up dropping down in this crevice, just go around, it's not a problem. And before crossing the first bridge, we want to go up here to the left, and in the back there's going to be a tree right here, and right here there's the item that we'll need later, which is the Oh Mother emote, so to say. We're gonna use that later in the mission, so it's important for you to get it now. But if you don't, you can come back later and get it as well. Then go back to the bridge that we were facing before, and we're gonna cross this bridge and the one following it. Right after the second bridge to the right, there's gonna be a side of Grace for you to save your game. Use that. Then jump back onto your horse and go this way to go to the church. You want to be careful because right ahead there's going to be one of those fire giant type enemies, and he's really strong and huge, and it's going to be an open area, so you want to run right through his legs and keep running up this way. I would recommend going right or left a little bit just to avoid any attacks from the monster. And then after you come up here to the right, there's going to be a side of Grace right up ahead. If you want, you can save your game here as well. And then from here we want to turn left, and right up ahead is going to be the church cathedral where Ymir and Jolan are located. So we want to head inside, and there's also another side of Grace that we're going to use once we get there. Once you have rested at the side of Grace, go ahead and open this door, and you see that right in front of you someone will be sitting on a chair. Go ahead and talk to this person. This is Ymir that you will talk to. Go through the dialogue with him, and he'll give you a couple items. A ruins map, and also something that will allow you to use the ruins where you're gonna go next. So now, to find the first ruins, we're gonna go to the Cerulean Coast Cross side of Grace and just follow this path right here. This will give you access to this side of Grace and then to this ruins right here. And that's where we want to go. So this is down by the Cerulean Coast, and from here I'm gonna show you exactly where to go. Once you reach this side of Grace, jump onto your horse, and we want to go this way to reach the beach that's underneath this cliff. There's gonna be a path down that you can take to reach this beach. And once you get down here, Be careful with the enemies, but you can walk on the water here on the shallow parts and just keep going around, avoiding the enemies and straight towards this way, and eventually we will see a ramp, a huge ramp to our left over here. Keep going straight, and the next side of grace is going to be immediately after this ramp to the right ahead of us. So you can go ahead and rest here to save the game, because this is a very important part and it can be difficult to get to the next part. So keep going down, and down there are going to be a lot of enemies that shoot lasers at you, and that's why you want to save in the previous side of grace, because if you die then you're not too far away. So you want to be riding your horse, but be very careful. You don't want to take a straight path, because then this is what's going to happen to you. So once that happens, or if it happens at all, jump back onto your horse and keep going towards the middle of the ruins. If you get attacked by enemies like I did, have a good weapon that you can kill these enemies quickly, otherwise they can attack you and also swarm you really quickly. Once you get here, all you have to do is go to the center of the ruins and interact with this huge finger that's popping down. Once you have done so, for the first part, you will receive a talisman called the Crimson Seed Talisman +1. What it does, it actually allows you to drink your health potion and regenerate more health than the simple health potion that you had before. The following step is to head back to the Cathedral and talk to Ymir once more. Once again, you want to head inside and talk to him and deplete his dialogue, and he'll give you another item, another ruins map. Also this time, you'll have the option to engage in other dialogues with him. Go ahead and exhaust all the dialogue options, and also if you want you can buy all the sorceries from him, because later on in the mission you will not be able to once you complete the mission. After you have exhausted the dialogue, go ahead and talk to Jolan, which is all the way back here by this column, and go ahead and exhaust the dialogue with Jolan as well. The next step, after you have exhausted all the dialogue with Jolan, is to head outside. You can head from here and then go towards the left right here underneath this cliff, and then we're gonna get access to the Shadow Keep, or the back parts of the Shadow Keep. Otherwise you can go back to the last side of grace from here and just go straight ahead like I'm showing you right now. Jump on your horse and keep going straight. You'll see a door and an arch. Just go through that door and keep going right ahead. Right above these stairs, there's going to be a site of grace. Please go ahead and rest right here. And from here, you want to jump onto this rooftop and keep going around. And right here, we want to jump across from this point. Be careful with all the enemies. There are some pretty dangerous enemies here. So just jump onto this big rooftop, and we want to defeat the enemy that's right ahead of us. This enemy is important to defeat because they can attack from a distance. And because we're jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and this area will be filled with water, you don't want to die, because then you're going to die if you are attacked while you're jumping. Jump onto this ledge right here, and right up ahead where the rooftop is broken, jump down, and then just right ahead of you. Keep jumping down and go this way. There's also going to be another enemy right here that similar to the other one. Go ahead and defeat this one. And then we're going to turn immediately to the left over here. There's going to be a little bridge. Keep going straight. There's going to be a bunch of bats. Here you can choose to defeat them or not. I would recommend defeating them if you can. If not, just keep running up. And up this ladder right here, there's going to be a lever that you want to pull. This will drain all the water in this area, and then will allow you to access the downstairs part. From here, now we want to head back. Then be careful not to fall. And then just go the way back we came from, and up ahead, go towards the left, not the right. And then there's going to be another enemy that can attack us, but here we can turn left and not defeat the enemy, because there's going to be right ahead an elevator. Go ahead up the elevator. This will take a while because this elevator has a long way up to go. But once you reach the upstairs part, then you'll be able to save at a site of grace that's right outside this elevator. Right here to the left. So go ahead and rest right here. And now from here, it's very complicated, but I'm going to show you step by step what to do. Keep going this way at the site of grace and climb up this ladder. Once you reach up here, defeat this enemy so you're not dead. It should be easy because then he'll fall down. And then from here, we want to head to the right and up these stairs. And right here, go behind the shelves and keep going this way. You'll see an opening on the wall. Go outside and then climb the stairs and ramps outside. Eventually you'll come across another site of grace. Go ahead and rest here. And from here, we want to take this small elevator that's right in front of us. Then you take left, and another left, and then right, and another right, and there's going to be a ladder that will take you to the upper part of this ledge. And then from here, take left, and then right. And defeat this enemy right here because it can get really annoying jumping across these ledges with this enemy behind you. Then you want to jump down and then keep going this way until you see another ladder to go down. From here you want to go outside again and there's going to be another small elevator that will take you down. Just keep going straight ahead and a third elevator that will take you down again. At the bottom of this elevator there's going to be a site of grace right in front of you. I recommend you rest there because there are two things we can do once we have rested at this site of grace. One of the things that you can do after reaching this part is that right ahead of you, after you go through the story, you actually face the Commander Gaius boss. This boss is not necessary for the questline, doesn't have anything to do with the questline, so let's just jump ahead. But if you want to know how to defeat the boss, I'll leave a link in the description. So from that same side of grace, we want to immediately turn right, and here comes in hand the emote that we got at the beginning of this questline. So we want to select the Oh Mother emote right here and use it in front of this statue. What this will do is that it will allow us to go through this secret passage, which is very important for the mission. So go through the passage, and right outside down there, there's going to be another site of grace that you can rest at. Go ahead and rest right here, and then jump on your horse and follow this path that I'm showing right now, all the way to the second ruins. There are going to be two other sites of grace on the way there, so you can use those to save your game. And also, just go this way, but be careful because there's some 3 sentinel bosses right here. You don't have to defeat them, but there's at least a couple here, and they can definitely kill you very easily. So here I'm just showing you the way to the ruins. If you want to take your time to explore, please go ahead. And also use the site of grace to save the game in case you die. Then you want to keep going straight from here. And right up ahead, by where the fingers start appearing, over to the left right here, there's going to be another site of grace. So if you want, you can use this one, because again, down by the ruins, the same enemies are going to be there from the previous ruins that shoot lasers at you from a distance. So in case you die, you're not going to start all the way in the back, you're going to start a little bit closer. Keep going down towards the center of the ruins. I have it marked down there. And again, be careful with all the enemies. The strategy is the same. Jump on your horse. If they attack you, try to get onto your horse immediately and keep going straight to the center of the ruins. saw that this time it took me a while longer to get here, but we're finally here. And once you interact with this huge finger, again you're gonna receive a talisman, and this time it is going to be the Cerulean Seed Talisman +1. So this does the same thing as the other one, but for your mana. From here now, we want to again go back to the Cathedral. From here, once more, walk through the door. Ymir is going to be sitting on his chair. Go ahead and exhaust all the dialogue possibilities with him, also the ones that appear on the menu to the left. And also, this is the last chance for you to buy the sorceries that he has available for sale. So I would recommend for you to buy those right now and talk also to Jolan back here and exhaust the dialogue with them. After you have talked to Jolan and he starts repeating himself, the next thing we want to do is sleep at a site of grace. Any site of grace should do. I just slept at one outside the cathedral just to be sure, and then came back. Once you come back, you'll see that Ymir is gone, and what you can do is interact with his chair, and that's gonna open a secret passage that was underneath his chair all along. From here, drop down this ladder, and once you reach the bottom, just go ahead and walk straight forward, because you will be invaded by the Swordhand of Night, Anna, and you will have to defeat this invader to move on the questline. So I recommend using the Rivers of Blood katana because that helped me a lot and made the fight very easy. So as you can see here, I'm just going right up to the invader and just spamming the special attack for Rivers of Blood. Be careful because they can also attack and deal a lot of damage, but really quickly I was able to defeat this invader. And then you get the Claws of Night, which are the invader's weapons. Keep going up ahead and interact with this finger here. So this will actually take you to the Metyr Mother of Fingers boss fight, which is a really hard boss fight. If you want to know how to defeat this boss, I'll leave a link in the description exactly on what you should do to easily defeat the boss. Once you have defeated the boss, rest at the site of grace that's going to appear in the map, and then we're gonna head back to the Cathedral site of grace. Now you have to prepare yourself for a double boss fight. The first thing is walk in and interact with Ymir chairs one more time. Right behind you, Jolan will appear as an invader. So go ahead and defeat Jolan. I'm using the Rivers of Blood katana once more. They're really good against invaders, and especially this one and the previous one. And right after you defeat Jolan, Ymir will appear as a boss fight. For this boss fight, I'm actually using, at the beginning here, you can see I'm trying to use Impenetrable Thorns, but I'm gonna switch up to use Rakshasa's Great Katana. If you don't know how to get this katana, I'll leave a link down in the description down below on how to get it. But it's a very powerful weapon because it's a long-reaching sword, so you can kind of stay back or not so close to the enemy and still deal a lot of damage. As you can see, I've dealt half of the boss's damage right here, and then I kind of got the boss caught in a corner, which allowed me to get all his equipment, including his bell bearing and also the maternal staff, which is a very powerful staff in the game. From here, do not do anything, go back to the site of grace and rest, because now there are two things we can do. We have to get one item out of two to give to Jolan, and now you can choose which one you're gonna give. The first item is located right here at the storehouse, first floor site of grace, and from the site of grace you want to head immediately to the left and activate this elevator right here, or go down this elevator if it's already here for you. Once you reach the bottom of the elevator, you want to go straight to the right and immediately after to the left. Be careful with an enemy that will jump out at you. And then you want to jump down this balcony right here. And right behind you is going to be the item that you want to get, which is the Iris of Grace. The second item will be located inside the Fort of Reprimand right here. And the closest side of Grace is the North Highway South side of Grace. So we want to head there. And from there, head inside this fort. Once you're inside the fort, you want to head left, right through here, and then jump down. Right below, it's going to be an enemy that you have to defeat to get the second item that you might want to use. Once you have defeated this enemy, he'll drop the Iris of Occultation, which you'll need when you talk to Jolan. Then you want to head back to the Cathedral. And from here we're going to go by the column where Jolan will be sitting down and talk to him. From here you can choose which of the two items you want to give him. The Iris of Occultation or Iris of Grace. The Iris of Grace will give you the Swordhand of Knight Jolan Ashes as a summon. And the Iris of Occultation will give you the Sword of Knight Katana. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough through this very long quest line. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.